Sugarland, but, out of Houston. But now it's pretty much everybody knows who we are, not only through Jaime, but the success that we've had winning and things like that. So it's kind of nice. You even from the corporate schools and things like that, you hear a lot of good things about Sharyland. So, he's put us on the map for sure. And I think the program has also helped, with all the wins that we've had.
Coach Bart Bickerton of the Sharyland High School Rattlers joining us here in the huddle on 840 Fox Sports Radio. Coach, speaking of success, you guys have been on a tear, especially the last couple of days, putting up 10 runs on two different opponents. How is your team looking so far this season?
It's strange. We're playing pretty much all freshmen and sophomores right now, and we had Trace. We had Trace, our junior pitcher, come off the mound and say, "I didn't even notice the coach, but there's all freshmen and sophomores in the infield." I said, "Yeah, that's what we're playing with. Right? We've got some injuries right now to two of our best players, and we only had 3 guys coming back as starters from last year, so we're in a situation where we have to play young guys, and they've come through."
The future of Sharyland baseball looks even brighter.
Yes, definitely. And eventually we're going to have the split, which will hurt us. But, this group of freshmen is going to be a real good one.
You brought up Tres Barrera right now as a pitcher. I thought he was a catcher.
He actually he pitches, catches, plays short, and plays third.
Wow.
So that's the good thing about him is we're able to put him anywhere that we need him to.
And he has verbally committed to UT already?
Yes, and actually we had a tournament the other day, and there was 3 guys from UT on the field that had all verbally committed. Him and 2 guys from Carroll. From Corpus, 1 from Cal Allen. So all those guys are going to play together.
Skip Johnson's coming down and raiding the Valley, huh?
Yeah, he needs to. There's a lot of talent down here that gets missed. We have probably one of the best hitters that we've ever had on our team right now, and he's only going to end up going to Alvin, Eric Gutierrez, which is kind of amazing to me.
Why does it amaze you?
Just that he has not got the offers that he, probably should have. He got offered a walk-on at Pan Am, which, I told Eric, there's no way, Eric. I mean, you're a lot better player than that. But Pan Am's in a situation where I think they've already signed everybody, already used up all their money, so they're kind of in a tough spot.
That Broad program, Coach Mantrano's taken it places, but I'm sure that you would like to see it go other ways.
Well, in Eric's situation, I think Manny's doing a great job.
Right.
I do wish that they would get some more guys from the Valley. I know he tries. I know he has picked up some guys from the Valley, and they haven't worked out. But most of the guys that we've sent him have been his best players. Angel, all the different guys he's had lately have been Sharyland kids and have been starters and things like that.
Can you field a D1 baseball team with Valley kids? And be competitive. Obviously, you can field a D1 team with Valley kids, but can you be competitive?
I think you've got to go out and get some pitchers. There's no doubt about it. In that ballpark, I think you could play small ball and get some as much speed as you can from the Valley. But the other problem is a lot of Valley kids want to go somewhere else. They don't want to stay here at Pan Am. The top one, Tucker Oakley that we had, Adam Kenya that we had, a lot of guys just didn't want to stay at Pan Am.
So they decide to venture elsewhere.
Yeah, Tucker's at Tulane, and Adam Pena's over at Incarnate Word. If you could keep the top talent in the Valley, I think you could definitely field a D1 team and then go out and add some pitchers, some power arm.
Coach, who is in the time that you've been down here, who's the best baseball player that you've seen come out?
Jaime's going to have to be the best one.
Okay.
So what a lot of people forget is that he was probably a D1 hitter also. He could play first, he could play the outfield, but of course his talent was on the mound. But he was definitely a guy that he could do it all.
He wasn't afraid to go up and swing the bat, and if he had to play a little first base, that wasn't going to be an issue for him.
Yeah, no, we played him all the time in the field, so he could definitely play. He just gets his talent on the mound overshadowed everything else.
Is there another one somewhere in the Valley?
Eric's a good talent. Trace is a great talent. He's still only a junior. I right now, there's a few guys, but again, what hurts us is a lot of these guys will come down, and the first question they'll ask me is, well, how tall is he?
Yeah.
And we've got a second baseman right now that if he was 6 foot tall, he'd probably be a draft pick, but he's 5'4". So, that also gets us a little bit.
Those genetics just get in the way.
Yeah.
Those genetics are they're just getting in the way. Head coach Bart Bickerton of the Sherryland High School Rattlers joining us here in the huddle on 840 Fox Sports Radio. Coach, run through your lineup again for today. What action can we see there at the Sherryland Diamond?
We've got 11 o'clock game. It's going to be Mackay Saltillo. We've got a 1:30 game, which is going to be the number 1 team in the Valley, PSA, versus probably going to be number 2 team in the nation, which is Carroll. And then we are going to play PSA Memorial at 4 o'clock.
So the game to go see is the 1:30 game?
Yeah, definitely. If you want to see Coastal Bend versus Valley, two of the better teams from the 2 different locations.
Is it the climate? Like you said, there's no reason why baseball shouldn't be played year-round here. Is that what's helping us develop the baseball that we're seeing now?
Yeah, definitely. The one, I think we've caught up with Corpus talent-wise, but what's still lagging in the Valley is the competition during the fall and during the summer. The kids from Corpus get to face, the best teams out of Houston, the best teams out of Louisiana. They get to face the top talent from the South, and we're still playing each other.
Right.
So Sherryland versus Alamo, Sherryland versus Mackay during the summer. To where these guys, Carroll is playing teams from Oklahoma. They're playing the best teams out of Houston. They're all on select teams. They're actually being coached by professional coaches. And we have to rely a lot on our parents to coach our kids, which they do a great job.
But their parents coaching their kids.
It's a big difference, right? It's a big difference between a pro and a pro scout, which a lot of these kids actually play on teams that are pro scouts, compared to, our parents having to coach kids down here.
But
it's a huge difference.
There is a great number of kids, though, that play on select teams, or they'll play on travel teams that don't play in the Valley. I know that Chad up in Dallas has got a couple of kids. I think that he's got, that will make the trek and go up to see him and work at his academy and at the same time play on his select teams. Yeah,
you see the difference in the kids. Like Trace plays for the South Texas Sliders. They travel everywhere. Eric also plays out of Houston, and then we've got another kid that plays out of Houston. And the level that they play during the summer definitely prepares them for our regular season. But the difference is in Corpus, instead of 3 guys playing that select ball with pro scouts and things like that, they're having 8, 9. The whole lineup is playing for select teams. So it does make a difference.
Right. And the kids don't get burned out because they realize that there's a good potential for them there to continue the success that they're having.
Yeah, those kids that play with those pro scouts, almost 90% of them go on to college just because those guys are able to put them into slots in different schools just with a phone call. It makes a big difference.
It does. And hopefully someday we'll be able to overcome that and see a lot more of the Valley kids on the D1 stage and going from there.
Yeah, we need our academies down here, to get a little bit bigger and try and spread out. But again, it all comes down to money in the Valley. And so it's tough for these guys. You can't charge the same amount down here as you can charge in Corpus and things like that.
Exactly. Well, maybe when you're done on the high school level, we'll see the BB Baseball Academy.
Oh, yeah, that would be nice. Coach Pompa has talked about it a little bit. It would be a pretty good deal. We've already looked at some different places that would be perfect spots. It's just a matter of getting some money together.
Jake Berry is loaded, and he's got money coming out of everywhere in case you want to hit him up.
Just send it to me, and hopefully down the road we can do something with it.
We're looking for a 1 to 5 return on our investment. We'll give you 1. We want 5 back.
No problem.
We can swing that. That's what I like to hear right there. Hey, Coach, best of luck today. I hope the weather's on your side. 11, 1:30, and 4 o'clock, we can see some baseball there at Sherryland's Diamond, right?
You got it.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Coach. Thanks for joining us in the huddle.
All right, thank you.
Head coach Bart Bickerton of the Sharyland High School Rattlers joining us here in the huddle on 840 Fox Sports Radio. We're going to have to implement the $5 fine for the phone going off during the show. And then it's got to be an additional $250 fine for having a bad ringtone light. What is it? Is that When I See Your Face? Is that somebody in particular? Is that Bruno Mars? No, it's not Bruno Mars. Look at I've never seen Leslie turn that shade of red.
I thought Rick was turning the bumper music.
Oh, yeah, I did too. I was like, who's touching my buttons over here? What's going on?
Hey,
knock it off. Knock it off. All right.
Thanks to Coach Bickerton for joining us. I told you, you just get me started. And that's one of the guys that I'd love to sit down with and just have an open mic and say, let's chat baseball.
Is this the bumper or is this her phone again?
We're going to take a timeout. We'll pause for commerce. We'll come back. More of the huddle right here on 840 Fox Sports Radio.
.840 Fox Sports Radio is your home for the 2012 NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament. And we want you